Good morning, Everest agents, and any others that are joining us from any other place around the globe. I'm excited to be here today, and I got a great message I hope for you that you'll like. One of the reasons I actually researched this little message I'm going to give you, it's about Alexander the Great. Now, one of the reasons I really started actually looking more into Alexander the Great is number one, he is one of the greatest generals that the world has ever seen. He swept across Asia. This guy is absolutely incredible. What's interesting is my life has crossed paths with a family member who actually, his family history actually was in the platoons of Alexander the Great, one of our great agents by the name of Cobb Malik. Fascinating to hear his story. And it really, even though I'd been interested in Alexander and his abilities, Alexander was actually schooled by Aristotle. So here's a guy at the age of 20, I believe it was, he came to power. And man, this guy and his passion of what he believed in, his passion was actually fueled by the death of his father, who was killed by an assassin. But you look at Alexander the Great when he came into power, and the stories that Cobb actually shared with me at how his family members, interesting as they swept through Asia and was actually following, they would set up these little cities. And the families, the wives would actually, and the families would follow in the footsteps right behind this battle line, and they'd set up these cities that would actually support the army. And as they conquered areas, those people would infuse into that great army. And one of the things I'd really suggest that you go look at is probably the greatest speech ever told by Alexander the Great. You can find that on YouTube. It's really inspiring because you can really hear and feel the passion of a man who believed in a cause, believed in what he was doing, and he led thousands across Asia. The story I really wanted to get into with Alexander the Great today was the Gordian Knot. And what is it? I want your mind to start thinking about, how do I exist in my business? What is my state of my business? You hear Jeremy talk about what's the state of my business all the time. Look, we're ending the end of the year. The end of the year is coming up. We should be working on our business plans right now, no different than Alexander the Great had these great battle plans as he swept across Asia. So you look at what he did. What are we doing right now to actually take on 2021? Look, we've had a battle this year. I think nobody would argue that in anybody's life. Look, this year has been strikingly challenging for most people. So what did you do this year to either elevate? Some of you are having the best you've ever had. Some of you are like, God, this really hurt this year, but you're still moving. You're still doing your thing. No different than what Alexander was faced with when he was sweeping across Asia and the great things that he was doing and the support that he had, the families that he had that were taking up the rear, fixing the mills and taking care of the wounded. Our families kind of take that same spot in our great journey here in real estate, because we are out affecting thousands and thousands of families. Century 21 Everest is actually designed around helping people and sweep across the nation in being able to sell homes and improve people's lives. But back to the Gordian Knot. What does this mean? So in our business, we are thinking out loud and telling ourselves, we have to get into the business and we have to call. We have to call for an appointment. We have to ask people for business. So the Gordian Knot, Alexander was obviously known for being really energetic and doing great things. He was never accused of being lazy, that's for sure. So one day he heard of this Gordian Knot. And the reality behind the Gordian Knot was a knot that could not be undone. Now this knot was 1000 BC was the date that it was actually come into reality. At around 333 BC, Alexander actually is the one that actually solved the problem. But he heard that the person that solved the Gordian knot was unable to unravel it would conquer Asia. So before he conquered Asia, this obviously excited him to go, well, I want to see this. Remember, many solid people that were amazing in being able to solve problems. Even Alexander the Great was taught by Aristotle in figuring out puzzles, complicated puzzles. So Alexander, being confident like this, I can do this and I'm going to conquer Asia. So it's your mindset. What do you say you're going to do? Now remember, hundreds of years before, this knot has not been able to be unraveled by anybody. So as you look at it, and he approached it and he fiddled around with it and he tried to figure out how to unravel it. This is what I think is extraordinary and why his conquering abilities is so great. He sat back after frustration of looking at it and he drew his sword and he chopped the knot in half, went into two pieces, and he said, it doesn't matter how the problem is solved as long as it's solved. Picked up the two ends, showed that he did it. Now we're talking hundreds of years. This hadn't been, remember what do you call those people in the olden times that were, I'm not even sure what they're called anymore. But anyway, the people who prophesied, not prophets, but something else in the Greek mythology, they talked about the person that solves the Gordian knot will actually sweep across and conquer Asia. Alexander knew he was that guy. So he approached the problem with knowing, I'm already that guy. Are we using that in our real estate? Are we using that knowing that I am by far the best person to actually take on the sell or buy for my clientele? I believe I am. I don't think there's a better agent out there than myself. Are you understand that? So as he approached that, his statement again was the fact that doesn't matter how it's solved, only that it's solved. They cut it in half. Some might say you cheated. No, not really. Oracles, that's what it was. So the oracle told him the person that solves this come along would conquer Asia. Here's what's interesting. As he did that, shortly after, thunder, lightning, and an earthquake actually hit, they thought it was a sign from the gods stating, wow, this must be real. So he went on to actually do exactly what the oracle said, conquered Asia. Now you think about that. How does that relate to what we're doing in real estate? Well, like I said, most of us think about our business as, I've got to call, and they just torture themselves daily. Let's rethink this. Look, right now, here's what we know. More than at any time I've been in business, and that's been 30 years, and I've seen ups and downs come out of an 18% market, sold a lot of property in a high interest rate area. I'm stunned at the opportunity right now. Look, my call to people when I'm calling to do business or I'm teaching the agents in role play of what to say, if it's SOI, it's like, hey, Greg, how are you doing? Haven't talked to you in a while. You know, I was making my business calls and I got thinking about you. How the heck are you? I'm doing great. Look, one of the other reasons I'm calling is the fact that interest rates are at a historic low. Man, you guys need to either be, refinancing your property or, God, let me ask you this. Right now, we could actually leverage the equity out of your home into a home that'll grow faster in value, keep your payments somewhere around the same, and get you a little bit better home. Would that make sense so that you can grow faster in value? Well, how are you going to do that? Well, if you're buying a home at $300,000 or selling a home at $300,000 or $400,000, whatever it may be, okay, and you got $100,000 equity and you have buying one at $400,000, take that equity, buy it down to $300,000 with the interest rates being, I think I saw there today that it was 2.75. Right now, that payment's most likely going to be cheaper than the home they are in. And if you've got a 10% growth in the marketplace, What's going to pay you more, the $300,000 home or the 400? Obviously, the 400. You owe it to them to call them, to give them the good news. This is the change I want you to think about. Being able to think, what story do I have that I can take to my clientele to enrich their lives? We got to get out of this mindset of, I got to call. Oh, seems like a torturous act. Nobody wants to do that. Why would we do that? What I want you to do is start, who do I get to call? Who am I going to call that I can actually make a difference in their lives? You're going to create millions just across your SOI. Now think about that. For myself, I sold a house for $266,500 13 years ago, drug out $125,000, paid off $25,000 worth of debt. My house payment was equal, and I bought a $350,000. That $350,000 now is around $650,000. How much did I make myself by doing that? We are making a mistake if we're not calling everybody we know to give them the good news that, man, I am telling you, we have to be going after that kind of business. You're going to look back in a couple years and go, remember 2020? That really sucked. But man, interest rates were 2.3, 2.5%. Did I tell my family? Did I tell my neighbors? Did I tell the guy walking down the street? In fact, I should have a flashing sign on the back of my car that says, buy from me, interest rates are historic low. Follow me to wealth. We got to build wealth, people. We are in the position and opportunity to do great things for people. Here's the thing. Isn't it interesting? Thousands of years later, we're still talking about Alexander the Great and the great things he did or has done. What are you doing to create that? You're in that position. You're in the position to do great things and call. I get frustrated sometimes because I'm sitting here going, holy cow, maybe I ought to just jump out of management and I should go call, because right now I know I can build such wealth because of the lending situation right now. It's extraordinary. Take the opportunity, change the mindset of being able to go, hey, look, I have the right and ability to change their life. Here's the interesting thing. No, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk to anybody. Once you cast that vision of wealth, show me one person that does not want to build wealth. Everybody has that belief and want to build wealth. So leverage the equity out of the home you're in into one that'll grow faster in value. You get to call. You don't have to, you get to. I want to change that mindset, because that's an easy, oh, I get to call today. That's exciting. Whose life can I change today and help them build wealth? Which leads me into another piece I want to talk about. And I'll try to keep it short because I'm an expressive and I tend to want to go on. Look, I want to talk a little bit about commission. Look, you are worth it. You are extraordinary people doing extraordinary things. And if you're not asking for 6% or more, you're making a mistake. So I want to help you with some internal dialogue that may change your mind to help build wealth. And if you'll infuse this inside of you, your life is going to change, and so will the people you're helping. Look, let me ask you a question. When you sell somebody a property and they have a growth pattern in that property, we know people sell every 5 to 10 years. So number one, why aren't we going after that business? Why aren't we chasing that business? Why? Something's changed in their life. They either got more kids, they got a job raise, lost their job, something's happened. Here's what we know. Most people today have equity in their property. They have a lot of wealth sitting there. Are they using it for investing or leveraging into another property? What is it that you're doing to show and share that information? Because look, they're going to make 100, 150, some 200,000. I've got 350 growth in my own home. Okay. You've made them so much more money on that property than you've ever made from them. Their growth is much greater than yours. Why aren't you asking for some of that back? And what I mean by that, I have an agent in the office by the name of Tristan Hurd. She's a couple years into the business. Her business has really taken off right now. And here's what's fascinating to me. She's been taught by us here in the Union Park office to ask for 7 or more. Here's what's interesting. She just closed an 8%. She offered 3.5% on the BAC, took 4.5% for herself. Here's what's extraordinary. How would she get 8%? And look, here's the thing. The seller loved her, said, wow, I can't even imagine this happening. Thank you, thank you, thank you, at 8%. And we have people going, yeah, I'll do it for 5%. Come on. Look, you're worth it. Here's the dialogue. Let me ask you this question. If I was visiting with you on your property and you come in and you ask me, let's say you just, Rick, you do it for 5%, I'll go with you right now. Here's my reply. What I'm going to ask you is really, can I share with you truly what you're asking me? Well, of course, they're going to say yes. Well, look, what you're really asking me, right, is to put more money in your pocket. Isn't that correct? Well, yeah. So let me ask you, does it really matter what you're paying me if you're making more money? Does it matter if you're paying me 6, 7, 8, 9, 10% if you're making more money? Some of them will even go, well, yeah, because I'm paying you more. No, hold on. Listen to what I'm asking you. If I am asking if I can make you more money, does it matter what you're paying me if you're making more money? Well, no. Great. Don't take my tools away to make you more money. I've done this myself for years. So I'll list a property at 7%. I'll offer 3, sometimes 3.5, and take 3.5. You're worth it, guys. You have to get in and show and believe that you are worth it. That's 100% what we know. So as you approach these sellers or people, and they're saying, would you do it for this? Well, let me ask you a question again. If I can make you more money by what I do, does it matter what you're paying me? Think about that for a minute. Digest that over the weekend. Because as you start that, the reality is they're just saying, put more money in my pocket. Now, why is it so extraordinary in our day right now? Most homes are going over, at least here in Salt Lake City in the Valley in Utah, are going above list price. So here's what I'll tell them. Look, I'm going to do better than 5%. I'm going to do it for free till I'm successful. Doesn't that make sense? But that's what I want to know. Why aren't we, look, it's nothing until we actually perform. Why would a seller resist? Why wouldn't you pay me 7% and let me try it? You get to approve the bottom dollar. And if you're making more, what does it matter? Don't take my tools away to do the job. That's a mindset change. You think about, go back and look at your business plan and ask yourself, what happens if I would have added 1% more to what I've done this year? How much would that have been? Go down and calculate that. You're going to be stunned because that money could be in your pocket supporting your family. You're on the front line. You're fighting a battle. Use these tools. Get on morning role play. If you'll get on morning role play and start working, we work on this every morning, every single morning. And the nice thing is we're taking these words and we're using words that actually make sense, that creates emotion. You got to infuse passion in what you're doing and how you're doing it. If you guys will do that, make no mistake, you will win. You will conquer like Alexander the Great. So in closing, I want to give you a quote from Russ that really struck me. And it's so true. You only have to till you want to, then you don't have to anymore. Now think about that. That's really role play, right? Or actually doing the things right. You only have to till you want to, then you don't have to. Why? Because you get to. Now think about that. Guys, infuse that into your brains and let's end this year super strong. But let's build a battle plan for moving forward like Alexander the Great to conquer and win. Doesn't that make sense? Do we not all want to just win? Without question. Look, guys, Focus on what your journey is going to be. Get your business plan in. What's your battle plan? You think Alexander, great, walked into conquer a country and like, oh, we're just going to do this. We're going to wake up and we're going to grab our swords and we're going to waltz in and we're going to win. That doesn't even work. Yet most of us will do that in our business. Get your business plans to us as we asked. Finish this year up strong and change the mindset that I get to, that I don't have to. And look, you only have to do it till you have. How is it? You only have to till you want to, then you don't have to. I'm still infusing this into my brain. Thanks, Russ. So anyway, look, it's like some of our great agents have done, and they've done great things. I want you guys to know that, look, we are here for you day in and day out. As a company that's really passionate about supporting you guys up and making it happen. Work with us. We've been there. We've done it. We're still learning, but there's so many things we can do better. Change our mindset, change our focus, do more, help more, because you get to. Guys, I absolutely am passionate about developing and being with people. The people around me are extraordinary. I have such a great support group here at Everest and in California. I love our managers and people out there I've gotten to know. Look, this is a great business to be in because you get to change lives. So with that being said, let's close with some affirmations.